Go.
Sometimes I go to Neptune.
This is Barbuda, and this is Antigua. Barbuda and Antigua form a twin island nation located between the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. This is their flag. They may be twin islands, but they're not very similar. Antigua opened its doors to international investors a long time ago, allowing mega resorts and heavy cruise ship traffic to overcrowd the island with tourists. Barbuda, on the other hand, has protected its land from foreign influence and remained untouched. The Antiguan-dominated parliament has long tried to convince Barbuda to follow their example, but Barbudans have lots to defend. Most importantly, their ancient tradition of communal ownership of the land. In 2007, the Barbuda Land Act was passed, which declared that all land in Barbuda shall be owned in common by the people of Barbuda. Land on Barbuda cannot be bought nor sold. Every major development or change on the island has to be approved by the majority of Barbudan people, represented by the Barbudan Council. But the current Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Browne, has different plans for the future of the island, and has long tried to repeal the Barbuda Land Act, which he describes as unconstitutional and foolish. But why? This might sound weird at first, but Robert De Niro, yes, this guy, has a lot to do with it. In 2014, without the approval of the Barbudan Council, Gaston Browne signed an agreement in which he promised Mr. De Niro a 198-year lease of 555 acres for just 6.2 million, plus an array of tax benefits and permits to build his very own luxury resort, an airport, roads, yacht moorings, car parkings, a helipad, the list goes on. All this remained more or less unnoticed until Hurricane Irma hit Barbuda on September 6, 2017. Irma was the strongest storm on record to exist in the open Atlantic region. It left Barbuda without water and electricity, destroyed 90% of its buildings, and caused the complete evacuation of a civilization that had lived on the island for over 300 years. This is where the strategy known as shock therapy comes in. Shock therapy centers on the exploitation of national crises to push through controversial policies while citizens are too emotionally and physically distracted by disasters to resist. Hurricane Irma gave the government a perfect opportunity to speed up the process of modifying the law so that international investors could have easier access to land on Barbuda. Months after the hurricane, the Senate already approved an amendment to modify the Barbuda Land Act and is now fiercely trying to completely repeal it. Barbudans are not only the latest people displaced by climate change, they are victims of a modern form of colonialism, fighting for their right to manage their land and refusing to accept the opportunistic objectives of international investors. So, there are two possible outcomes. 1. A huge resort will be built on Barbuda, and this small corner of untouched paradise will be overrun by the kind of tourism that already exists in so many other parts of the world. 2. And this is the outcome I will be fighting for. A long-term plan will be established, which allows Barbudans to go back to their homes and work to build a self-sufficient island where energy and water systems are made to resist natural disasters such as Hurricane Irma, where these people, who know their land better than anyone else, are happy to host the kind of sustainable tourism that they think is best. With your support, I will be able to travel to Barbuda to personally meet with the people who built up the resistance movement. I will gather video footage, conduct interviews, and do everything I can to help shine a light on their story. For more information, please check out my page.